As a local authority, we've got a duty to provide advice and information and help to people who are homeless or at risk of homelessness. But more than this, we really want to get involved to help people and to resolve people's housing issues. From April this year, we have a new piece of legislation we're working with, the Homeless Reduction Act 2017. This is a really good piece of kit. We can tailor the advice and information we give people to meet their specific needs and circumstances. It's the advice they need as an individual at that point in their lives. It's only after we've worked intensively with a customer and we've been unable to resolve their initial housing problem or find alternative accommodation that we look at temporary accommodation. And something like the new James House is a brilliant resource for us at this point.
The building is going to be developed into a hostel where we are moving from an existing site, which is very run down, very poor quality accommodation, to something which will provide people with a good starter. It's largely going to be focused for families. It will have 57 1- and 2-bedroom flats with support on site. It'll allow us opportunities for families to live in more comfortable circumstances. We've got support from the Homes and Communities Agency in terms of grant funding to support this development, and it builds on the work that we already do. It links into our greater plans really in terms of the current restructure of housing, which is all about supporting the needs of our tenants.
Since the restructure, we've become generic housing management officers. Before there was income and estate, and they've been combined. The patch has been made smaller, which means that we can have a more holistic approach when dealing with the community. More time to deal with antisocial behaviour, income-related support. Working with the local area teams and the local area coordinators, the housing management officers will play a key role in developing the locally based offer to our customers.
Having smaller patches allows us to look at each family and deal with tenancies as a whole. I've been working closely with Julie, our active community officer. We've been talking about things such as having events just to get the community more involved.
The aim of the team is really early intervention and prevention, to work with individuals in the community, people who may be a bit isolated, and really to help to connect them. So for somebody that's isolated, it may be introducing them to a lunch club or a coffee morning. Could be local history that they're interested in, so it's connecting them very much to things that they're interested in.
I'm the new Active Communities Officer for City of York Council. Well, there was a culture change that was really needed in the independent living schemes. I was hired to empower the tenants and to try and encourage them to be a bit more active within the community, be that within the community in that they live or in the outside community. We've got a chocolate tea party with Nestle. We've also got a health and wellbeing day on. And another thing that we've got going on is being part of Bloom Festival, and hopefully all the independent living schemes will get involved with that as well.
You get to learn a lot from the people that you're helping, like obviously they've got quite a few stories to tell, so I find that part really interesting. I'll also be doing some dementia awareness training. Also there's enhanced DBS, which will make me more suitable for working with vulnerable people.
Building Services are the Council's in-house repairs and maintenance provider. We've carried out a restructure, and that restructure has looked at ways in which we can become more efficient. So we have teams of planners now in place, and their work is to organise the workloads of our 75 operatives. We've also got teams of customer support officers. Their role is to deal with something like 4,000 calls per month and be able to understand exactly what the customer's referring to. The gas and electrical teams that we have are aligned under technically qualified managers. Those people are qualified electricians or qualified gas engineers rather than simply a manager. And it does make a big difference in terms of the kind of quality of work that we can produce and how effectively and promptly. Historically, many of the people in building services provided a contractor service to the council. Some years ago, building services was brought back within the council as an in-house service, but there's still some of those old cultures, contractor-client type cultures, that we need to challenge. A lot of our work has been about people thinking about themselves as one team and as part of the council. The changes we're making are a good start, and the changes that we're making in people's heads about where they sit and how they see themselves, they're coming along as well.
I'm Sarah Crowell-Green on the Your Wellbeing Falls Prevention Service, and the aim is to reduce the risk of falls in people's homes in the hope to reduce pressures to NHS services. We assess the individual, and based on any needs that are identified, anything that's quick fix, for example grab rails, banister rails, to help reduce the risk of falls, we can fit on the day with consent of the service user.
So far we've carried out over 170 assessments, fitted 278 grab rails.
We do have a wide variety of partnering networks that can accommodate and put support in for individuals who are at risk of falling.
I manage the Community Safety Hub, which is a joint initiative set up in 2014 between ourselves and the police to tackle antisocial behaviour and crime in the city. We have two teams of council officers, the neighbourhood enforcement team and a team of antisocial behaviour officers, and we also have some operational police officers working in the team as well, principally tackling both environmental and personal and nuisance antisocial behaviour. So we're identifying where our hotspots are in the city, and we're looking at taking a much earlier stance, addressing some of those problems before they become really big issues and become resource intensive. So it's exciting times for the Community Safety Hub.